Alright, good morning, guys. What we're going to do today is we're going to take one of our baseball bat billets and make a little Christmas tree. That's probably about 7 inches long, something like that. So first off, we're going to put it between centers and make a tenon on it. And I just use my chuck and I put a safe drive in there just to make sure it's locked in place good. We're going to mark the approximate center of it. Close enough. Yeah, just a friction drive. These really work good. If you're afraid you're going to have a catch or whatever. Here's what we're going to aim for. It's just a little Christmas tree that you can set on a table or whatever. You can paint them, do some pyrography work or whatever you want to do with it. But they're kind of cute and people, they love them. And so we'll start off making a tenon, or you can put it in a 4-jaw chuck. That's the best way of doing it. We'll go ahead and round it. One thing about a safe drive, you can't really get a bad catch with it. You can stop it about any time you want to. Meaning if I jam my tool into it like that, it's going to continue, it's not going to hurt anything. So that's why they call it a safe drive. And I'll leave the quill loose and continually making sure the tailstock is applying pressure to it. We'll true up the edge of it. Make sure it's going to fit. Yeah, it's going to have a nice close fit. You want the 4-jaw chuck to be almost closed. It holds a lot better. So we'll put our 4-jaw chuck on. Still going to use a tailstock for safety. Just because it's in a chuck doesn't mean it's going to hold it. And what we want to do, I like to allow at least that much wood left, and that's going to take the base of the stand, the Christmas tree you're going to sit on. We need to come to about there. The trunk of the tree, and then we'll just taper it like so. So we got to remove a lot of wood, and I'll show you. We want to make sure we leave plenty down here because there's a point sticking there. I want to eliminate that. Again, I use the beading parting tool. It's quick.
Why are you stuffing it down like that?
It's a lot quicker. A lot quicker. You want,
No, I mean on an angle.
well, I'm just removing wood. It's a very quick way of doing it. Once you get the bulk of it out, then you can take a bowl gouge or a spindle gouge. I'm using a 5/8 detail gouge.
Just trying to get the outside shape now.
Yeah, you just want to get a nice taper, and you can make some lines where you want the limbs to come out. You can do that, but what happens, the tool kind of dictates how much of a cove you can turn in there. So the lines really mess you up. I do it by eye, and I'll just show you how I do it. You want to make a scooping cut. Instead of just going straight and flat in there, you can do a cove and then do a real sharp, acute angle. It just makes it look a lot better. So once you get that little cove cut and you're pleased with it, you can come back That's how you make your line. Just make a cut and then come back and scoop it out. It's that little arc motion with the tool. Then you just come back, and scoop that out. You have to line this bevel up, when you go straight in, that bevel, the tool handle's got to be way over here. So a lot of people don't try to get that bevel going the straight way. They just put it in there, and it's just not going to work like that. You got to look at the profile of what you're doing. That's the only way you'll get it right.
Brooke, could you remind us what tool that is you're using?
This is a 5/8 detail gouge. It's got a whole lot of metal in it, but you're only using a small flute on it, so there's no vibration. You can really get aggressive with it. You just got to sharpen it, not remove all the heel off the back of it, where it's not in the way.
Why don't you lay it down on your piece there? There you go.
But it is a workhorse. You can do a lot with it. Doug Thompson makes this. He makes it, and Michael Hoslick is the one that designed it or requested it. It's not on Doug Thompson's tool list unless you just ask him for it. So anyway, it's worth having. Here's another. This is a 1/2-inch detail gouge, and it's better. I might use it just to see the difference. I'll just sharpen them, and we'll see how it works. You can see the curve on this limb here. It's just not going to look as good rounded down as this sharp. So we'll get this 1/2-inch gouge and go in there straight and clean that up. This tool is not ground. It's too blunt of a point. It's sharp, but I can't get in there. You want to go down, scoop it back up. You come back and clean the bottom of the branch. Look at it. Got some chip out here. We can remove that. Yeah, we don't want to run out of room down here, so let me start with this base. I'm just pivoting off the bottom of this branches here. Look at that. Okay. What we'll do is come back and finish up the top. Get this chip out removed. Do a nice little curve if we can. Look at it. Torn grain right here. It's better to leave it. I've got a little tight working spot here, and I shouldn't have like painting yourself into a corner. That's what they make sandpaper for, though. I can sand it. About to run out of room here, but we can fix that. I just want to remove the sharp edges. There's no sense in trying to get a slick, super slick finish on it. It's a tree. You might want to texture it. Maybe do it with a wire brush, typography. Whatever you think. Might want to put a little detail in there. This base, the trunk of the tree, I used to get them too small. I was trying to make it look like a real tree. This is not a real tree. What we're going to do, since we run out of room, we'll pull it out of the chuck just a little bit. Well, you want to leave a pretty good size tenon on there. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. What we're going to do is chamfer the bottom. And we'll go ahead and part that off. It's a little tight, but we'll see what happens. I do recommend leaving the tenon on there, especially if you're starting out. You can set them up and look at them. Then you can always put them back in there and, you know, make some more cuts on it or sand it or remove some chips or whatever. But if you leave that tenon on there, set them up, make a few of them, and then you'll know where you're making your mistakes. Once you part it off, it's done. But I'm through with this one.
Tell us about your parting tool.
Yeah, this was a commercial jigsaw blade. It had teeth on it. It was kind of like, it wasn't a Lennox brand, but you can see where they welded a high-speed steel and made the teeth out of high-speed steel. So I ground the teeth off. But this is all high-speed steel. You cannot drill a hole in this. These are about 16 inches long. We got a few of these that was left over from a job, but you have to buy 10 of them. They're $30 a piece, so you got about $300 worth of these if you're going to buy some. But I was fortunate enough to get a couple, and it's got one hole in it, and I drilled it and epoxied the handle on it. But they really work good on green wood.
Jigsaw or hacksaw?
It's a jigsaw, goes up and down. They had a game jigsaw that had probably 6 or 7 blades in it going up and down, and they'd feed whatever through it. But Michael Hoslick had one just like it, same brand. He had duct tape wrapped around it. I said, well, I got one at home, but I put a wooden handle on mine.
You set your Christmas tree down?
Yeah. That turned out pretty good. You know, they're handmade. There's not any sanding to speak of. It really helps you learn to use the tools. And that's what I have fun, just using the tools, you know, making those cuts and then making something that people enjoy. Instead of this laying around your shop, you can have that in just a few minutes. Make a lot of people happy. Anyway, it's a good little project, and we got tons of these. Our club does, so we can buy them and share them, whatever. So anyway, that's it. Happy turning.